Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I created the face mask for Fluttershy. I did use Mugawara's cosplay's video on how to make a furry head. I used their techniques heavily, so I will leave their video link down below if you want to check that out. As you saw there, I did make the head just like Mugawara's cosplay's video did, with cushion foam and hot glue. And I tried to create the basic shapes of the face anatomy for Fluttershy. To get my pattern, I used my normal method of getting patterns is saran wrap and masking tape. I did this all around the head and then I drew on my seams and cut the pattern off. And I used that said pattern to make a mock-up. And once I had it finalized and on the head sitting properly in the way I like it, I cut that apart and used that mock-up as my pattern piece. And here I'm actually cutting out the pieces in the final fabric. I am using a pale yellow flannel. I chose the flannel since it's a little bit easier than fur, a lot easier on my wallet. And since my head is not symmetrical, I had to have a piece for each side of the head. Most of making this head, I really didn't have a clue as to what I was doing, but it worked out in the end. And with all the pieces cut out, I can go ahead and start assembling the head. To make these pieces go to a rounded shape from a flat shape, I did create darts at the temples of the head. So here I am just taking my fabric marker and I am transferring my darts to the actual fabric so I could sew those up. And I do that to both sides of the face. And then I go ahead and sew up that seam that's on the outside of the face to close up the eye socket. And then once that's done, I go ahead and pin the center seam on the front of the face together and I sew that up. And I also sew the darts on the back pieces. And once that front center seam is sewn up, I go ahead and attach the back pieces to the sides of the face. But I do not sew the back pieces to the top of the head, since I will have Fluttershy's hair there. For the ears, they're just two triangles that I sew together and leave the bottom of that triangle open. For the mane, she does have a bang and a long back piece for the mane. I use this hot pink flannel to make it. For both sections, I just go ahead and draw a long J shape, one smaller than the other. To give the flannel pieces some stability, I do attach some fusible interfacing to it. And then I also cut out some fleece that I have lying around to give it a little bit more bulk. I go ahead and attach the fusible interfacing to both sides of the pink flannel. And then I flatline the fleece, interfacing, and flannel together on both pieces. And with those pieces flatlined together, I go ahead and do right sides to right side, and I put the mane together. To make it look like the cartoon where it has pieces of hair, I go ahead and create some lines down the mane, and I do top stitch this. And with both the back mane and the bangs done, I go ahead and sew those together. Now, some of this I did not film because I did not know what I was doing, but I'll try to explain it. I did use several videos to try to figure this one out, and I cannot remember them off the top of my head because it was so long ago. But what I did was hot glue the face fabric onto the foam head that I created. I started with the ears so that way I could hide those raw edges underneath the face. And this was after I did hot glue the mane onto the top of the head. Basically, I'm just going to hot glue this on where the seams would be, any curves, just to keep it on the head. And here I'm shoving the top of the face fabric underneath the mane, trying to hide the raw edge of the mane. And then I'm just hot gluing all the way around the edges where the face fabric meets the ears. I am folding over the raw material so it is hidden, and then I'm hot gluing that all down. And the back seam is getting hot glued down as well. And this part didn't really matter since the back of the mane will be hot glued down onto it and it will be hidden underneath the hair. And then I go ahead and hot glue that fabric around the eye sockets. And to keep the front bangs out of the vision of my daughter, I go ahead and kind of pull it over and hot glue that down as well. And for the opening of the mouth, I go ahead and hot glue that down too. To hide the ugly edges of the mouth area, I do take a piece of felt and cut it to the shape I need, which is basically like 2 half moons, and glue that in the mouth. For the eyes, I have this laundry bag that I bought at the Dollar Tree years ago that I thought would be great to use as the eyes so you could still see through. And these shapes of paper here are basically a guesstimation of what the eye shape actually is. I kind of just took the piece of paper and held it up to the mask face where the eyes are and used a pencil and traced from the inside on that paper to kind of get a rough shape of the eye socket. And I'm using it to create the eyes. And using a reference image, I go ahead and create what the eye kind of looks like on Fluttershy herself. And then I use acrylic paints to paint it on. And once that paint is dry, I go ahead and hot glue it to the inside of the eye. To finish the eye socket off and to hide my ugly edges, I do cut a piece of craft foam or fun foam in the shape of the eyelashes, and I do hot glue that onto the outside. I thought I videotaped doing this, but apparently I did not. And here is the final head. It came out great, and my daughter thinks it looks exactly like Fluttershy, and she had so much fun wearing it. Next video, I'll have Fluttershy's bodysuit and her hooves, and that will complete the Halloween costume that I created for my daughter this year. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time. Bye!